Greetings, family. Welcome to today's episode of Wednesdays with Pastor K. We are today on episode number 135. 135 episodes ever since we've started with Wednesdays with Pastor K. I remember we started back in 2020 during the days of COVID, and I felt the desire to speak to God's people and not to pull away from God's people. But I realized that doing it online was a best way to do. And look at today, we are on episode 135. So meaning that for those of you who have been following me all these years, we've been together for quite some time, and we have made it to 135 episodes later. Yeah, so happy Wednesday night to everyone that has tuned in, and I'm happy to spend the next few minutes of my time with you. I'm going to ask you to please do the following for me. Please like the feed, share the feed, comment, and also let's get our world into this room. You know, you can only get people that follow you into this room by sharing the feed right now and by tagging them in the comments if you're not sharing the feed. So I'd really appreciate that, so that we have people that will feed from the topic that I have for you. I think I've got a very special topic, and I believe that many of us will relate to the topic that I'm going to be sharing on today. So we're quickly gonna recap on what we shared 2 weeks ago, because last week we did not hook up, you and I, because it was a public holiday. It was May Day last week, Wednesday, so I did not stream. But today we are back together, and I believe we're gonna have an awesome time. I just want to welcome everyone that has tuned in, and then we're gonna do a quick recap on what we did 2 weeks ago, or the topic that we shared 2 weeks ago. Let's see. I see we've got Tsepang watching on YouTube. Welcome, Tsepang. Good to see you. We have Matapelo Mapanga watching on Facebook. Welcome, Matapelo. Good to see you. And we have Oluetu watching on YouTube. Welcome, Oluetu. Welcome, Poma Libani watching on YouTube as well. Welcome to Melompo watching on YouTube as well. And we have Homoto KG watching on Facebook. Welcome. We have Jekwi Kunupi watching on Facebook. Welcome, host Jekwi. We have Refilo Matsibulanu watching on Facebook. Welcome. And we have my beautiful wife also watching here on Facebook. And we have Katleho Mosaka watching on Facebook. And we have Bafana Chipankosi watching on Facebook. Welcome, family. So good to have you on today's episode. I believe that you and I are going to have an awesome time. I'm so looking forward to today's episode. And I just want us to quickly recap on what we've discussed last week. Actually, 2 weeks ago. We spoke on a very paramount subject titled Hard Work Beats Talent. Hard work beats talent. And we got to share a number of things concerning that topic. And one of the things that we said that talent is the natural ability or capacity to perform a function. It is a natural ability or capacity to perform a function. And we said, according to Webster's dictionary, the definition is that talent is a natural ability or power. And we got to dwell more into that last week to say that it is a natural ability or power, meaning that your talent is your power. Your gift is your power. But this only means you have the raw mechanism of talent. Meaning that when God plants something inside of you, he plants it raw, he plants a seed, and you have to nurture that thing for it to develop, to get to a stage where it can be beneficial to you and also to bring in income into your life. And we also said that it will need to take a constant honing of this talent or gift if you want to stay relevant in your field. Meaning that every gift that God has given us, if you don't develop it, if you don't hone it, it will never get to that stage where it begins to speak for itself. It begins to bring income your way. We have to continue to hone it all the time. And we said that here's the thing, because we said that hard work beats talent. We said that hard work is the practice and preparation you use to hone and enhance your natural skills and abilities. Even though we are gifted, even though we've got talents, but we need hard work. We need that aspect in our lives, hard work. If you work hard, I'm telling you, you would do great things with your gift. You would do great things with your talent. It feels good to be talented, but hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. You see, it's possible that talent will not work hard. There are many people who are talented, but they are not putting any effort into their gift. They are not putting any effort into their lives. And as a result, they fail to perform at a higher level. They fail to perform at a level that will bring influence in their lives because they don't work hard. Many people are very lazy, even though people are gifted, but many people are very lazy and they don't show up. You may find that there are people who have been given an opportunity because of their talent, but you find that because they are very lazy, they don't meet the needs and the standards of what is required of them in order to maintain what they are called to do. And also, if you don't work hard to keep your talent active and show it to others, you will miss the opportunities to achieve the level of success that you can reach. You will miss the level of opportunity to achieve the success you can reach if you don't work hard on your talent. It is very important that we work hard on our talent or giftings, right? Welcome, Dino Khoaripe. Good to see you. She's watching on YouTube, and we have also Yolanda and Tabiseng watching on Facebook. Welcome, guys. So good to see you. And Patuchezo Ralipaswa is watching on Facebook. I see he's calling himself Paulina. He says Paulina Ralipaswa is connected. What a nice one. Bless you, Ralipaswa. Character. So hard work is a mindset. It is a mindset. It is painful, uncomfortable, and challenging. That is why not many people can work very hard. That is why we don't have many hard workers in life, because hard work can be painful, it is uncomfortable, it is challenging, and you can achieve any dream and vision with this aspect, which is hard work. Because hard work will require many hours of your time. You will spend a lot of hours while other people are sleeping, while other people are asleep. If you are a hard worker, you will continue to push hard while others are sleeping. That's the nicest part about hard work. You've got to make sure that you work very hard for you to start bearing fruit and to bring people to getting to know who you are. It's going to take a lot of hard work. The gifts that we have, people won't follow you simply because you've got a gift, but people will follow you because your gift now is visible and everybody is drawn to it because you are working so hard in making sure that this gift gets known by people. Hard work can entail the following: working long hours, focusing and working daily on your talent. Focusing and working daily on your talent. If you didn't take this with you last week, I want you to take this with you today. Hard work entails working long hours. If you and sleeping are big friends, then you're going to miss out in life. You're going to miss out in the power of your gift. You're going to miss out in making your gift known to the world if you and sleeping is friends. Focusing is going to take focusing and working daily on your talent. If you know you're gifted in a certain area, you've got to spend a lot of time daily working on that talent, right? So that's what we discussed 2 weeks ago on Wednesday. And today I want us to talk and discuss a very special topic, and I believe it's going to be a blessing to you. Tonight, let's talk about the importance of saying no. The importance of saying no. I'm sure many of you can gel in right now and we can relate right now on this powerful subject. The importance of saying no. And why do I want us to discuss this topic? Because many of us, we find ourselves in this problem or with this problem of not being able to say no. Even if the time it would be most appropriate for you to say no, but because you want to please others, then you never say no. You just say yes for the sake of pleasing others. And as a result, we end up overwhelming ourselves. We end up getting stressed because we are trying to please other people. We are trying to please others. And I'm telling you, it's a big challenge. And I believe that each and every one of us here on this feed today, there are moments where we could have said no to others, but we just said yes because we wanted to please them. And why do we do that? We do that because human beings are inclined to want to say yes in situations. We are inclined to want to say yes in situations, whether it's to not let someone down or not let themselves down. Sometimes we don't want to let ourselves down or we don't want to let somebody down. And that is why we say yes, even though we don't feel like saying yes. And we end up compromising ourselves. We end up burdening ourselves because we want to please others at the expense of our lives, our time, our energy, and our God-given opportunities. And as a result, we end up doing what we don't really want to do, but we want to please somebody else, and we want to we want to impress certain people at the expense of our peace, the expense of our energy, the expense of our God-given time. It can be extremely hard to say no. I'm sure you can all relate. It can be extremely hard to say no, but doing so more often provides significant benefits to your overall mental health. So as a result, when we keep saying yes, even if we want to say no, but we end up saying yes just to please others, we affect our mental health because we fail to set boundaries and we fail to set other behavioral standards. And even though we know very well in our hearts, I don't really want to do this, but I also don't want to offend this person because I know if I say no to this person is going to get offended. I'm going to ask people that are on the feed right now, if you've been in a position where you wanted to say no, but for the sake of peace and for the sake of the relationship, you said yes. I want you to share that in the feed. Let's see your scenario, your encounter. What is it that you had to succumb to, knowing that you did not want to say yes, but you ended up saying yes. But at that time, it was appropriate actually for you to say no, but you didn't because you wanted to please this person. You didn't want to offend this person. You didn't want to disappoint this person. You ended up saying yes. Please share with us. Let's see your story. Let's engage and let's see what you had to go through. Saying no is an essential tool for setting boundaries. It is a very important tool to setting boundaries. Breaking the habit of people pleasing. So by saying no, you are breaking the habit of people pleasing and prioritizing your own needs. That's where many people miss it. They don't prioritize their own needs and they fail to break the habit of pleasing people, because when you have the ability to say no, it means you have broken the habit of pleasing others. Many of us, we live to please others. And as a result, we end up missing whatever it is that we really want to do. And we end up falling trap to pleasing others at the expense of our energy, our time, and the desires of our hearts. And even though it will build that relationship, it will build that particular relationship, but as a result, you will suffer because you are trying to please somebody at the expense of your energy, at the expense of your time, at the expense of your well-being. We often say yes to others to gain their approval or to avoid conflict. Am I right by saying that? We often say yes to others because we want to gain their approval, we want to avoid conflict. And that is why we say yes. That is why we say yes. Welcome, Mate. Good to see you. Good to have you on today's episode. And we have also Ntabisem Machulanu watching on Facebook as well. Welcome, guys. We have Mpo Dube watching on Facebook. Welcome, family. So good to have you on today's episode of Wednesdays with Pastor K. We often say yes to others to gain their approval or to avoid conflict. While it may seem like a selfless act, it can be harmful to our well-being and relationships. Many of us, we really fail to say no, even if it would have been right or appropriate for us to say no. You know you had to be somewhere urgently, but somebody called you and said, you know what, please do me this favor. Can you go past a certain place and get me 1, 2, 3? Because I won't be able to go there. And you know very well it was going to be an inconvenience for you because you couldn't be there. But for the sake of peace, for the sake of not offending this particular person, you said, you know what, let me go. But on your way there, your heart is crying. You're crying from within. You're crying from within. You're like, no, I don't want to go there. But you find yourself going. Why? Because you want to please the next person. You want to please the next person. There are moments where you can sacrifice and just be selfless and help a brother or a sister. But there are times where you feel that I really can't do this. I don't have the energy to do this. And the best thing for me to do now is to say no. There are many of us who can't say that. There are many of us who cannot say no. Mpomaliban says, I ended up providing financially for a family member and it has become an inconvenience to my cash flows. You know what? At the end of the day, it's about you. It's about you, Mpo. It's about you. But if you put the next person first, then you're compromising yourself as well. That's why I say it depends on the situations at the end of the day. Katlego Musaka says, I think with my time, I've failed to say no. Sometimes people ask for things at the wrong time and I end up compromising my time to tend to someone else's business, and that leads me to delaying and procrastinating my own things. You see how much of an inconvenience this can be. I know that's why I chose to speak about this topic. I know myself because the hardest thing to do at times will be to say no to certain people. And at times it would be ideal for you to say no, but because you are afraid to offend this person, you are afraid to hurt this person, you want to please them, you end up saying yes. Yet you know this is going to be an inconvenience for you. It's going to inconvenience you. It's going to mess up your entire day. It's going to mess up your entire schedule, but you end up saying no. I mean, if it meant that you could have gotten home by 5, but because somebody came and interjected your schedule and asked you for this big favor, you end up getting home at 8. That's a 3-hour sacrifice. That's a 3-hour sacrifice. Like I said, if there's nothing that you're doing, it might not be a problem. But if it comes in between what you had to do and what you had to do was very important, then that thing will inconvenience you. It will inconvenience you. Saying no is an important step in taking control of your life. It is an important step in taking control of your life. Many times, because of the failure to say no, we fail to take an important step in our lives, which is the ability to say no. By saying no, you are in charge of your life. If you are able to say no, even when people are not expecting you to say no, I'm telling you, you are in control and you are in charge of your life. You do what you have to do, and what you can't do, you can't do. What you cannot do, you cannot do. Why saying no is difficult? Let's zoom into that, because I know for many of us it is very difficult to say no. But why is it difficult? Before I delve into that, I just want to read some of the comments here. Welcome Tabo, good to see you. And Jabu Marema, welcome guys, good to see you. They are watching on Facebook. Katlego says, people randomly calling without scheduling, and I feel extremely bad for watching the phone ring. Sometimes a no is a no. Sometimes a no is a no. And Patuchezo says, I have banned myself countless times by failing to say no. I am in journey of training myself to say no since 2020. 2020, Ralipaso, it's the 4th year now. You are still training yourself. You should have been an expert by now. People, we need to practice saying no. You must practice saying no. Sometimes the right thing to say is no. The right thing to say sometimes is no. It's no hard feelings. It's no bad feelings. Sometimes we've got to learn to say no. It does not break any friendship. So I was on this point. Why is saying no difficult? Why? At times it feels like you are rude or not polite. Am I right? It feels like you're rude. It feels like you're not polite. Especially at times when it's somebody older than you asking you for that favor. And you're afraid to say no, but you know you don't want to do what they're asking you for. You end up saying yes for their sake, because you don't want to be rude, you don't want to be polite, you don't want to be non-polite. But who said saying no is being rude? It's not being rude. You're speaking your heart. It's something that you don't want to do. It's something that they're asking you to do and you don't feel like doing it. So you're not rude. You are just being yourself. We fail to say no, or it is difficult sometimes to say no because we worry about letting others down or damaging our relationships with them. So many of us, at times, we keep saying yes, yes, yes to stuff because we want to maintain the relationship. We feel that if we can say no, then this relationship will go down the drain, Yeah, absolutely. Sis Dudu, welcome. I've just remembered that you've sent me a text some time today, and I did not get back to you. I will revert as soon as I'm done with the stream. It's been hectic. It's been a hectic days. Apologies. It gets crazy. It gets crazy, guys. And Ntabise Machibulani says, I always put others first and fail to say no, even when I see that people are taking advantage of me. Listen to me, Ntabise. You've got nobody else to blame but yourself. And you do it at the expense of you saying you want to help others. But here's the thing. What you've just mentioned will always happen. People will start taking advantage of you because you can't say no. Tutuzile says, I hear you clearly, man of God. No, saying no, it takes away your inner peace, period. Absolutely. And Gatlego Musaka says, I wish I can confidently say no without coming up with excuses. Just simply no. No. Yeah, no. Here's the thing, and I think I'm going to share it now going forward in today's session, that even though you say no to somebody, be honest. Be honest with the reasons, because I think many of us, we tend to make the mistake that when we say no to others, then we lie. We lie. No, I can't do it because I have to do 1, 2, 3, knowing that you're not going to do 1, 2, 3, but you just want to move away from helping this person. Be honest all the time when you say no to people. Just say no. Just say no. Be frank with people and say, you know what? I'm sorry I cannot help you today. I'd be glad if you ask me to do 1, 2, 3, but what you are asking me, I won't be able to help you today. Next time, maybe, but today, I'm sorry, I can't. No beef, no bad blood. Why? Because you are honest. Because you will lie to this particular person, and then they discover you were lying to them. I'm telling you, you are in a worse trouble than you would have been had you said yes. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes we say yes because we don't want to disappoint others. We say yes because we don't want to disappoint others. I see many people are suffering from this thing. That is why I said let's share on this topic today, because I know many people suffer from this. Many people suffer from this. Sepang's on YouTube. Sepang says it's only by saying no that we can concentrate on the things that are really important. Absolutely. Victorious Champ. I just lost Victorious Champ there. Let's see what Victorious Champ is saying. Victorious Champ says, what a topic. Compromise does not hinder your progress because you put your goals on hold in order to make the other party happy. Absolutely. We do that, but for how long? How often can you do that? And how many times can you do that? Because you can always put your things on hold and then make other people happy. But at what expense? Do you remain happy at the end of the day? That's what we are discussing. Pumzile Petla says, I feel so bad after saying no. Yeah. But will you keep saying yes all the time? Even the right answer for you was a no. Jeku Kunupi says, I so wish I can say no. Yeah. Absolutely. My dad would call for my attention each time when I was about to pursue my goals, and will help with a sore heart until God revealed that such was a wicked spirit attacking through my dad. It really drained me. I addressed it and the emergencies stopped. Yeah. We've got to be honest. We've got to be honest with people. We've got to be honest with people. Sometimes we can help out. We will be in a position to help them out, but sometimes we just have to be honest that, listen, my dear friend, I can't help you, or my mother, I can't help you, my dad, I can't help you with 1, 2, 3, because I've got 1, 2, 3 to do as well. It's no bad blood. It's no bad blood. It's worse than doing, or it's better than doing something you don't want to do. You're going to feel bad anyway. You're going to feel bad anyway. Yeah. With parents or elders, it gets tricky. I can't imagine saying no to my parents and still eating in their house. It depends. It depends. It depends. If they are asking something, how do I put this? It has to be, if they ask you something, it has to be something that is within your boundaries. Sometimes my wife and I, we would shout at our kids for not helping out in the house and all that. And we would ask them to do stuff throughout the day and all those things. And we are doing that because we are parents, we are leaders in the house. And I've always learned that for as long as you want to have your own rules and you want to do what only you want to do, then you are ready to be in your own house and your own place. Because if you are under their roof, you are under their rulership. You are under their authority. That's a different story. That's a different story. It's not the same as what Bafana Chipankosi is saying here. He mentions that his dad at times he used to ask him things to do, and it was outside of what he had planned on doing. You can imagine. He's a father on his own. He has his own family. He has his own home. So that can be an inconvenience. But if you are under my roof, then you are under my leadership, you are under my rulership, and unfortunately, it does not work for you, Katlego. It does not work for you because you're still under their care, you're still under their authority because you're staying under their roof. At times, it feels like the only natural option, and that is why it is difficult to say no. So we feel that saying yes is a natural option. No, it's not. It's not. Saying no doesn't make you unkind. That's what you need to understand. It doesn't make you unkind. It means taking care of yourself. It means taking care of yourself. I keep mentioning this, and I believe that many will see it that way. Because what good does it do that you're going to please the next person, but really, truly in your heart, is not what you wanted to do? And you're feeling bad about it, even though you did it, but you're feeling bad because it's not what you wanted to do. You had things to do, but you no longer did that because you wanted to please the next person at the expense of your energy and your time. What are the benefits of saying no? To make somebody understand now, what are the benefits of saying no? Saying no allows you to value yourself more. It allows you to value yourself more. Secondly, number two, it helps us prioritize ourselves because at times we prioritize other people and we don't prioritize ourselves. And that's where we lose it. That's where we lose it. It helps us prioritize ourselves. That's part of the benefits of saying no. You are prioritizing yourself. Number three of the benefits of saying no is that you break the habit of pleasing others. When you say no, you're breaking the habit of pleasing others. We actually, almost all of us, we have that habit of pleasing others. And by adopting the lifestyle of saying no when you feel that you don't want to do something, it means that you're breaking the habit of pleasing others. You're breaking the habit of pleasing others. Number four, saying no can lead you to new opportunities that would not have been achievable by saying yes. There are certain things that you will miss out on by constantly saying yes to other people. There are certain things you will not do by saying yes to other people. You will not do those things for yourself because you want to please others by using your own time. Number five, it also allows us to set boundaries. Saying no allows you to set boundaries. There are people who don't have boundaries. We don't have boundaries. People can do whatever they want to do whenever they want to because we can't say no. We can't say no, and people take advantage of that. They know you cannot say no, therefore they will take advantage of you. They will always send you around. They will always ask you to do 1, 2, 3 because they know you cannot say no. Tabo says, to be honest, I am also a victim of being a yes man at times. It happens to a lot of us. It happens to a lot of us. Tandega says, I always feel bad when I say no. That's a sentiment that Pumzile shared. You know what? You must move away from being sentimental and into being principled. Operate with principles, not sentiments. If you are a sentimental person, you're going to end up doing everything for everybody and nothing for yourself. That's what sentiments will make you do. And I'm telling you, your own purpose will suffer and other people's purposes will flourish. Let's see what Kimi is saying. Kimi says, I feel overworked and overwhelmed at work because I struggle to say no and end up making mistakes with my own tasks. Yeah. Look, there's always a catch. It will always catch you somewhere. It will always catch you somewhere because you are not taking ownership and you're trying to please others at your own expense. Matapelo is saying, I have done it several times and afterwards I regret because sometimes it costs me money and time out of my plan. You see, that's what not being able to say no will do to you. That's what will do. At times, when people ask you what you feel that this I can't really do, pause a little, listen to yourself, and listen to what you really want to do in your heart and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself because I'm telling you, you're gonna make the next person happy only to find out that you are exhausted, you are drained because you did it at the expense of your peace and energy. Thank you, Katlego. Katlego says this is such a great session, Pastor K. Pumzile says, so saying no keeps you in your rightful position. Absolutely. Absolutely. It helps you set boundaries. You become a person who sets their boundaries. Saying no makes you a person of principles. Yeah. You must be very principled. Do you really want to say yes? Or you're saying yes just to make me happy? You know, it's one thing to go the extra mile for other people, but don't allow it to get to a stage where people are taking advantage of you. Then it's another thing. It's another thing. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, Bafana Ngosi. Yes. Principles over being sentimental. Katleho says, this is so interesting. We often only establish boundaries once they have been overstepped. Saying no should be part of our character building. Yeah. Say no even before the opportunity presents itself. Say no. Say no. How many of us have found ourselves in trouble simply because we wanted to please a friend or we wanted to please a family member? You know very well that you did not want to go to that party. You know very well that you did not want to attend that event. But because a friend called and the friend said, please accompany me. I don't want to go by myself. I just want to go with you. And you ended up going only to mess up your entire day. It was a bad day. You even regret having gone there. Why? Because you can't say no. You wanted to please a friend. You wanted to say yes to a friend. Not saying no will land you into hot water one day. Imagine you really wanted to say no. And I'm a very person who I'm one person who operates with peace. If I have no peace about it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Because doing things out of peace is doing things outside of the will of God. The guidance of the Holy Spirit is peace. And when you lose peace simply because you want to please others, even losing your life might be possible. Because when peace leaves you, but you're going to do it anyway for the sake of somebody else, the Holy Spirit might be saying, don't. There's an accident there that's going to happen. And if you go, you're going to be involved in that accident. But it tells you by taking away your peace as you get ready to do that. So at times, if that's why I'm saying, if you've got peace about something that somebody's asking you, there's nothing wrong with doing it. There's nothing wrong with saying yes. But I've got a problem with your spirit wanting to say no, but you can't say no because you want to please this person. Then that's not right. That's not right. You're taking a risk with your life. You're taking a risk with your life. Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Yes, even to you, Katleho, you must say no to you as well. Tabise Machibulani says, I will now stand my ground, set my boundaries, and learn to say no. Yeah, you will be doing yourself a very big favor. Absolutely, you do that. Yeah. You compromise your own principles by not saying no. Sis Tutu says, wow, I'm going to start to stand my ground, for no means no. Thank you, Daddy, for today's teaching. God bless you. God bless you. And Tandega says, the guidance of the Holy Spirit is peace. Thank you, Pastor K. Absolutely. That's how you know if you're in the will of God. Everything that you do and you feel peaceful about it, and there's peace, there's this atmosphere of peace. God is peace. That's why the Bible says he gives us peace that surpasses all understanding. And his guidance is peace. He says, my burden is light. My burden is light. So if you've got a very strong burden, God is trying to communicate something to you. And if people keep on asking you to do something and you feel burdened and you feel your heart is saying no, but you're just going to do it for the sake, I'm telling you, you might be outside of the will of God. The will of God is peace. That's how God directs us. If peace leaves you, God is saying no. God is saying no. At times, people would invite us to certain things, and you know very well you don't really want to go there. It might be even a wedding. It might be even a party or somebody's birthday party. And sometimes it's a funeral. Sometimes it's a funeral. And you know in your heart, there's this no. Your heart does not want to do it. Your heart does not want you to go. Don't. Be able to say no. Just be honest. You know what? I'm not feeling this thing. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm really not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. There's something in me that does not want me to go. Respect that. Respect that. Mpo Dube is saying that is why it is important to be obedient and be sensitive to the voice and signs that God gives you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tandega Palisama Timela, you nailed it, my sister. That's Patuchezo there. Yeah, you have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to yourself. You have to. I mean, there are people sometimes, and I know it happens with many of our families, many people, there'll be these family members who will always send you around every time they want to go somewhere, maybe outside of the province. They will always call you because they want to use your car, because you are the one with the car. And every time they want to go there, you don't want to go there. But because you have a car and you don't want to disappoint family members, you're going to end up doing it. There are people who've gotten into accidents because they couldn't stand their ground. They couldn't stand their ground. So you end up doing it for the sake of peace because you want to make them happy. There are many people who will take advantage. And I know from the background that we come from, black people, and somebody will say, please, I need you to take me somewhere this coming Saturday. I will pour petrol for you, and you will know the distance is just very far. They are just taking advantage of you. The distance is too far, and they will say they pour petrol, and that petrol does not even do anything for you. They'll say, I'll just pour petrol, then they give you 100 rand. What is 100 rand nowadays? What is 100 rand nowadays in petrol? So we grew up in those kinds of environment, surrounded by people who will take advantage of you because you are a kind person, and they know you will never say no. They know, so they will just take advantage, and you don't want to go there. There are certain people, they will call you, it will be 2 a.m. in the morning, please come and pick us up. We were at work and our transport did not come, and or maybe I told my friend to go because they had something else to do, so please can you come. They waking you up at 2 a.m. I'm telling you, you will be exhausted. Nowadays we've got Uber, you've got Bolt. Why does somebody want to inconvenience you that much? But many of us are unable to say no. That's the challenge. Yeah, I see Katlego Musaka is replying to Mr. Marema right there. She says it has become a subconscious thing to say yes to almost everything, sir. You don't have to think about saying yes as much as you think about saying no. Absolutely. We often actually saying yes is like a default. It's like a default answer. And we find ourselves doing that quite often. And it's just a challenge, James. We find ourselves pleasing other people at our expense. Part of the benefits of saying no is that it's a sign that you respect limits. You respect your limits. Each and every one of us, we must have limits. There are certain limits that people cannot push through in our lives. We have to maintain those limits. You must have limits in life. You must have limits. Number 7, it protects your time. Saying no, part of the benefits of saying no is that it protects your time. It protects your energy, and it protects your well-being. If you're going to be everywhere for everybody, you are not going to protect your time. And understand that the unit of destiny is time. I'll say that again. The unit of destiny is time. If there's one precious thing that God has given to you and I, is time. Look after that. Take care of time. Respect your time. Respect it. Number 8, by saying no, you break the habit of pleasing people. I think I've said that a number of times. You break the habit of pleasing people when you say no. Number 9, saying no allows us to communicate our needs and expectations clearly. We communicate our needs and expectations clearly. That's what saying no helps us with. It helps us to communicate our needs and expectations clearly. Number 10, saying no shows that you are in control of your life and decisions. Did you get that? It shows that you are in control of your life and your decisions. But saying yes all the time, it shows that somehow you are not in control of your life and the decisions that you make. Never allow somebody else to dictate or influence your decisions. Some of us are in debt today because we couldn't say no. We didn't want to disappoint somebody who got us into debt. We did not. Imagine you do it at the expense of your credit profile. There are certain people, these random calls that we get nowadays on a daily basis, and nowadays somebody just calls you, they just want to sell you stuff every single day. And because this person has spoken so well and this person knows their story, Now you find yourself in a position where you are unable to say no because you feel that you don't want to disappoint this person. No, no, not at the expense of your credit profile. Not at the expense of your credit profile. Stand your ground, and say no. You must be prepared to say no. You must be prepared to say no. Protect yourself, protect your life. Or for some of us, we want to help other people, but we help them by using credit elsewhere. You know you don't have money to help this person. You know. But because you feel bad not to help this person, you go and borrow money to help this person. That's not healthy. That's not principle. That's not a principle. You're being sentimental at the expense of your peace, at the expense of your profile. Excuse me. Number 11, by saying no, you create space for the things that are important to you. Did you get that? By saying no, you create space. You create space for the things that are more important to you. But if you always say yes, then you don't create space for the things that are important to you. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's see the comments here. Mpotube says, so what do you do when your parents want you to attend such events that are not God-pleasing, ancestors, ceremony, and you want to say no, but you know that you are under their authority and rulership? It depends. It depends, Mpo. Obviously, we have freedom of religion, and obviously, if it's in line with God's will, then I don't see any problem. I don't see any problem. But if your parents are going to get you to turn away from your faith, then it's another problem. Then it's another problem, because God has given us a free will. God has given us a free will. And that's why I'm saying it depends. I mean, if they know that you are Christian, they must respect your decision. They must respect your decision. They must respect your faith. They can't be getting you to disobey your God. And unfortunately, those are the things that we deal with and we come across. So that is why you have to work hard until you have to work hard to a level where you get independent and you start doing your own thing. But I don't encourage that. If you know that I'm not going to be doing this ancestral stuff, you have to stand your ground. You have to stand your ground. But say it politely and with respect. Speak with them and say, guys, let's sit down. You know that this is my belief system, and this is against what I believe in, and it won't be well for my relationship with God. But be polite and be respectful. Be respectful. I'm telling you, I don't see any problem. At times, we tend to mess up the relationship between ourselves and our loved ones because of our attitude and the manner in which we address what is right. Because what you be standing up for would be right for you, but the manner in which you address it is very important. You must be very careful with that. You must be very careful with that. Yeah. I'm almost out of time, but Jesus says people are opportunistic, and some people even make budget on other people's money, knowing that when they ask, the person won't say no, whatever is being asked of them. Yeah, absolutely. That is why you have to stand your ground and be able to say no. This topic has gotten me thinking, says Pumzile. If I have ever taken advantage of anyone who finds it hard to say no, I might not be the only victim. This teaches me to respect and understand others when they say no to me. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be mean, Pumzile, but when somebody speaks to you politely and say, you know what, I'm sorry, my friend, I won't be able to do that for you today. Sorry, maybe next time. Why should you be offended? And why should you not like them for that? Why? Because they are being honest. It's not what they want to do. unless you want them to do what you want them to do. Then that's a problem. Katlego says, Pastor Gay, in marriage, to what extent can a woman exercise their no? Whoa, that's a whole different game. That's a whole different game, Katlego. It depends, number one, what you are talking about, because obviously, when it comes to conjugal rights, as a married person, there's no no. There's no no. You can't say no. It's their right. Conjugal rights, you can't. You can't say no to your husband. You can't say no to your wife when it comes to conjugal rights. Secondly, it depends. It depends on what is on the table. It depends. It depends. If there's anything that is against your values, then you have to stand your ground. It does not matter where you are. So that is why I'm saying this one, it has to be, we have to be clear on it. What is it? What is it that we have on the table? It's very important. But when it comes to the matter that I've mentioned now, conjugal rights, you can't say no. Never. The Bible even tells you, do not deny each other. Do not deny each other that pleasure. Do not. Do not. It's a do not. God says do not. Even you find that there are couples, even when they are fasting, and God says, even when you are fasting, you must be in agreement. You must be in agreement with your spouse that I'm going to be fasting, and as we are fasting, we're going to be fasting 1, 2, 3 as well. Then we agree. If we don't agree, we don't agree. You see? So I hope I've answered you, Katlego. On that one, it depends on what is on the table. Yeah. So yeah, I think, I'm actually out of time. What framework should we use to determine if the right response should be a no? What framework should we do? For those of you who don't know how to say no to people, and I just can't get myself to say no to others, what framework should we use to determine if the right response should be a no? Number one, ask yourself, will saying yes prevent me from focusing on something that is more important? That's what you need to determine. That's what you need to identify. Will saying yes prevent me from asking or from focusing on something that is more important to me? You must ask yourself. If then it's going to infringe on what is more important to you, then you've got to say no. Number two, of the framework we need to use in determining if the right response should be a no. Give yourself time to think through the consequences of committing. If you're going to commit to a yes, give yourself some time to think of the consequences of committing to say yes to that person. And then once you've taken time to think that, then properly give a response. You must give a well thought over response. You must think very well before you can say yes. Without boundaries, we risk becoming overwhelmed, stressed, and stressed about people we can't tell the truth. Yeah, have you noticed those kinds of instances? You know you don't want to do it, but you just said yes to the next person, but as you go, you are not happy. You're not happy. They don't know that you're not happy. You just said yes to them, but you are angry, even though you said yes. That's another issue. Without boundaries, we risk becoming overwhelmed and stressed about people we can't tell the truth. You don't want to say no, but you really said no in your heart. Then what's going to happen to you? You're going to end up stressed because you can't tell the truth. You know the truth is a no, but you lied and said yes. And you're going to do it because you don't want to do it, but you're going to do it anyway because you said yes. And because of that, you will be taken advantage of. You will take on more than you can handle. You will take on more than you can handle. This will lead to a physical and emotional exhaustion. It will lead to a physical and emotional exhaustion. You will neglect what matters to you in the process. You will neglect what matters to you in the process. You ignore your own needs. You will ignore your own needs. Yeah. And part of what you will suffer is that people pleasing can prevent us from setting boundaries and communicating our own needs effectively. What is it that you need? What do you need? Do you communicate that effectively? Do you do that effectively? Lastly, let me give you the tips for communicating boundaries. I've given you the tips of I've given you the framework actually of how to determine how to respond if you want to say no. Let me give you the tips of communicating boundaries to people. Number one, be honest. Be honest. Be honest when you say no to others. It's important to be honest about your reasons. By being honest, you're communicating your boundaries effectively and preventing misunderstandings by being honest. Number two, offer alternatives at times. When somebody calls you and they ask you, please, can you do 1, 2, 3 for me? And you know you're not in a position to do that or you can't do it. Offer an alternative. Offer an alternative. You might perhaps say, probably I won't be able to do it, but can I rather do 1, 2, 3 for you instead? Offer an alternative. Or can I ask somebody to do 1, 2, 3 for you? Offer an alternative if you know you truly can't do that. And lastly, number 3, be clear. Be clear when you communicate boundaries. Be clear. Speak loud and clear. Explain what you are willing and unwilling to do. Explain what you are willing and unwilling to do and what you expect from others. Explain it. I'm not willing to do 1, 2, 3 for you today, but probably next time or next week, if you've got the same problem, I'd be in a position to help you. But I'm not willing to help you today. I've got 1, 2, 3 to take care of, and you're honest. And be clear about it. Be clear about it. This will help prevent misunderstandings and ensure that everyone is on the same page. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. I believe we all had a great time. We had a great time. Yeah. Bless you. Bless you, Katlero. Katlero says this is deep. And Dudu says, saying no to your superior is very hard, but I've learned a lot tonight. I need to say it politely and being honest. You must remember, that's why I say this topic it requires you to be careful as well. It requires you to be meticulous. Because number one, if your superior is asking you to do something and it's outside of your scope of work, then in that way you qualify to say no. But if it's within your scope of work, then they pay you. That's another thing. So that's why I'm saying you must tread carefully. You must tread carefully, because if your boss, your authority, your superior, they pay your salary, you've got to do what they ask you to do. That's why I'm saying, unless it's outside of your scope of work, then you can stand your ground and say, but I'm sorry, I won't be able to do that. It's outside of my scope of work. And always be polite when you communicate these things. So I'm not trying to train you to be unruly, to train you to be rude. I'm not trying to train you to be defiant and to refuse to do what is expected of you to do. No, I'm not trying to make you do that. I'm trying to help you to say no when you feel in your heart that it's a no. Don't say no for the sake of saying no. No, it's no. Say no because you feel that no. I think this is gonna get me. It's gonna take me out of my way. Really. Do we get what I'm saying? Awesome. So please, let's not interpret or misconstrue what I've been discussing today. I'm not training you to be disobedient. I'm not training you to be unruly. I'm training you to be able to put your needs first as well. Please, please. But to Chezo, you're pushing it. You're pushing it. You're asking for a part two. You're pushing it. God bless you. All right. For those of you who have not bought my book, look at focus on this. Here's my book, The Call of God. Please purchase this book. It will bless you. If you have not yet purchased this book, I want to invite you to please buy this book. It will only cost you 200 Rand. It will bless you. It's a powerful book. And many have bought it, and it has opened their eyes. It will help you understand your calling. It will help you understand who God says you are. I thank you all for tuning. May the good Lord bless you. And I'll see you again next week, same place, same time. Bon voyage.